The call to the member for McKellar.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Of course, my parents have also contributed to a podcast called Laughter and Tears. They said the tear bit was bringing me up, but anyway. Mr Deputy Speaker, can I thank the members for Perth and Curtin for their putting this motion forward. When I saw that both of them had done so, I thought, how can I repay them? And I can repay them by calling both of them good friends of mine, thereby making their careers in this place less pleasant. And certainly when they return to Perth, a state that I have referred to as the Kingdom of Narnia, they can explain to their fellow Western Australians why they would have anything to do with someone like the member for McKellar. Can I also, while the member for DeBell is here, pass on my sympathies for the passing of her father due to dementia as well. The contributions of the member for Macarthur and Bonner, as always, were insightful, and the member for Newcastle has given us a personal feel for what this is like. I myself, before I came to this place, was involved in aged care, the provision of services and goods to that sector, and got to see what wonderful work is being done by aged care providers throughout Australia to help people who predominantly end up, there is a greater concentration of people with dementia in aged care homes than you would find in other parts of our society. And therefore they're in many ways at the front line of dealing with people who have dementia. And it's very interesting that we talk about sending people to Mars, we talk about exploring the depths of our ocean. We uncover every single day such extraordinary knowledge of our universe, quakers, dark matter, black holes, and yet we understand so little about ourselves and what the brain means to human beings. When you look at us as a species across all of all the other animals that we share this planet with, the one thing that sets us apart, above and beyond anything else, are our brains. They hold our memories, they hold our personality, they hold our capacity, our innovation. They allow us to love, they allow us to care, they give us compassion, they allow us to work together. They have, in so many ways, changed the world in which we live in. We stand here today on the shoulders of such enormously great thinkers, and yet we understand so very little about this mechanism that we have atop of our bodies that represents so much to us. And when people begin to lose the capacity and the brain starts to ossify because of the plaquing that we know is one of the features of dementia, people begin to lose their personalities, not just their memories, their capacity to communicate and associate with other people. It becomes incredibly difficult for us to help people in that situation. They often revert to earlier years in their lives. The member for Macarthur was talking about having a workforce that is prepared for dementia. And he's absolutely right when he says that. One of my observations in aged care were the number of people who came to this country, and for some reason I always pick on Italy, but I think it's because the first time I came across this, it was a lovely lady who had come to Australia when she was 18 and spoke only Italian when she arrived. She'd been here, I think, 71 years by the time I met her, but she suffered from mild dementia, so there was nothing serious, but she constantly would talk to you in Italian because she had reverted back to her native tongue. And of course, that made it sometimes very difficult for the Australian or for the English-speaking carers who were trying to look after her to do so, because she actually needed someone who spoke Italian. And I think we need to be cognizant of that in just even our immigration and visa system to ensure that our aged care providers have the flexibility to bring people from different parts of the world to this country so that they have someone who they can communicate with. I think that we, as a government, both sides of this parliament, whenever they've been in government, have dedicated massive amounts of resources, not just to this disease of the mind, but to many other diseases of the mind. I think this is both appropriate and sensible. We will spend tens of billions, if not trillions of dollars getting to Mars. I wonder if we are willing to spend that amount of money, dedicate ourselves to that inquiry of ourselves and our minds.